Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Omnibus overview video, and today we're taking a look at the Fantastic Four Omnibus Volume 2. This is the latest printing that just came out, so it has that spine that has been very controversial. We'll talk about that and the contents of this book, so let's hop into the video. In this house, we love spines. So let's get it out of the way. The spine on this is the new Marvel spine. And look, I agree with you all. It's really bad. People make fun of DC for their spines. And honestly, I think this is kind of worse. Maybe I'm biased, but the DC ones, the font will still be big. It just won't match up exactly. The logo won't match up exactly. But this one is just why'd they have to make the font so small? Okay, if it was just still bigger font, it'd be a lot better. But it's so small. Now, I will say, it's not going to stop me from purchasing these because, luckily, years ago, I sold the Fantastic Four original omnibuses that I had. So now I'm just picking them up again now that I'm older and have more funds to do so. So I'm just going to get them all in the new format. So it'll probably look a lot nicer when they're all together. And luckily, I sold my Spider-Man Volume 3 before the reprint was announced. So I sold it for out of print costs, and I'm just going to get it back, and it's going to have the new spine. So it was kind of a good thing I did that. But I totally understand how annoying it is for people who have been really loyal to Marvel and have been picking these up throughout the years. So I like the picture on the side, but man, they got to increase that font or something. And as you can see, I went with the very cool classic cover, the very iconic cover, If This Be Doomsday, part of that trilogy, The Coming of Galactus. Let's flip the book over, see what we've got in the back. This is very typical with all of your old school Marvel omnibuses, just to have all the issues laid out in the back in this sort of neat, compelling way. All right, let's take the dust jacket off. All right, here's the book without the dust jacket, the Fantastic Four Omnibus, Volume 2. Flip it over, we've got a big old 4 on the back, and that makes sense because it's the Fantastic Four. All right, and now let's open up the book and see what we've got in here. So, do I really need to explain what this book is to you guys? It's the Fantastic Four Volume 2. It's the very classic Fantastic Four stuff. It's collecting issues 31 through 60, and then annuals 2 through 4. There we go. It's Marvel's first family. Little preface here. And this is the stuff by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It's very classic. It's very old school, so, if you're not too into reading some older Marvel stuff, then perhaps this isn't for you. But the way I sort of look at these is that they're like my Marvel history books, They add context for the stories that are happening in the future. And, if you're an MCU watcher, you'll catch things that they've pulled from here when the movies come out. Now, there's no Fantastic Four movie right now, but there will be eventually. And, a lot of this stuff has probably been retconned also. The Omnibus opens very strongly with this Doctor Doom origin story, double-sized issue. And Doctor Doom is one of my favorite characters. These are really cool, too. These are at the end of the issue. It's signed character cards from the Fantastic Four and Alicia Masters. But yeah, it starts very strong with this Doctor Doom storyline, and also Rama Tut storyline, who, if you were watching Loki, there might be some potential future tie-ins there with Kang the Conqueror, etc. And by the way, if I'm spoiling anything, which I don't think I will since this is all such dated material, and, if you've got your fingers on the pulse of anything Marvel, you really know all this classic stuff. But if I am, sorry. But to be fair, this is late 60s, 70s, something like that. So it's been a while. We get some cool stories here, a lot of notable things happening. Some backstory of the the Storm family here with Sue and Johnny's father. Then we get, here he is again as sort of the Invincible Man, although, spoiler, it's not quite him. Look at this awesome art page. I was just looking at this. Guys, this is the Jack Kirby Stan Lee stuff. It's It's golden to look at. It's fun to read. Like I said, though, some of the text is a little bit dated. And as you'll probably notice, this is a lot more text than you would get in a modern comic book. I guess our contemporaries have found a way to be a little more brief with their work. I mean, look at all the text there. That is like you are basically reading an actual textbook. So I think it's very true to form when I said that. Always like when they include the letter pages in the back here. We get some Submariner stuff. Mariner? How do you say that? Whatever. Look at that. That's amazing. That's so cool. Love the artwork. If anything, get this for the historical context of some of these issues and get it to look at the awesome artwork. Maybe you don't want to read it through. That's fine. Just flip through the pages and maybe read the letter hacks because it's fun. Seeing what people were saying about the Fantastic Four all those years ago and seeing what the cultural zeitgeist was talking about in regards to comics all those years ago. Or, you can not get this because it's definitely not necessary reading. And if you want something more contemporary and Fantastic Four related, get the Jonathan Hickman stuff that's being reprinted soon. This was always a very classic cover. I feel like I've seen it before. Maybe not. Calamity on Campus. Gotta love The Thing, too. In these issues, The Thing and Johnny Storm and The Thing have always had a great relationship. But it's really comes across in these issues, too, and I was surprised. I guess it is the foundation for all of that. Reed Richards, like I said, this is dated. He's a little arrogant in way more of a jerkish way. And, he drops those misogynistic lines every once in a while. Sue's role is kind of downplayed a little bit more here. Although, as we know in the future, it progresses. And Sue was like the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four now, which makes a lot of sense. And she is developing those powers here already. I mean, she's got her force fields, her invisibility, etc., etc. All right, we get the first appearance of the Frightful Four here, which I believe... Is that the first appearance of Medusa also? I think so, because we're going to get the first appearance of the Inhumans later in this omnibus. Perhaps here? I can't remember where exactly the Inhumans first popped up. I love the Doctor Doom stuff always. We get some team up with Daredevil action going on here. I don't think we're there yet, but this story, or this omnibus, also contains the very classic Thing story. This man, this monster. I think we're in the Inhuman stuff now, maybe. Which is definitely, that alone isn't worth the cost of the omnibus, but I think it's a very important and necessary story to read from this era. Black Bolt. Oh, look at that artwork. Very cool. Very important to read in regards to Fantastic Four lore. It's just one of the most sort of touching stories, and boom! Behold, Galactus, Devourer of Worlds, in his goofy costume that he has here. Yeah, you were expecting the purple costume? Think again, because in this original Galactus trilogy with the Silver Surfer coming and everything, he doesn't have it. Then we also get, boom, Wakanda Forever, baby. We get the first appearance of the Black Panther in here. Man, what a cool character. What kind of a visionary character for the time. Here they introduce a black superhero who's like the king of his own nation. It's very cool stuff. And, man, look at that artwork. That's awesome. So, the book's, like I said, by no means a necessity, but it's a fun pickup for historical context, some of those first appearance and key issues, to look at the artwork and to enjoy things like the letter hacks. All right, guys, I've got some more omnibuses coming in the mail, so stay tuned for that. I have another sort of secret project I'm working on for the channel that is comic book related, but isn't necessarily omnibus related. So please comment, like, subscribe, and stick around for more videos.